So the Democrat National Convention has kicked off this week, and if what we shall call the opening ceremonies are any indicator of what we can expect for the rest of the week, all I can say is buckle up. Welcome to my channel, Outspoken Samantha. If you are new here, welcome. I do appreciate you clicking on the video to watch it, and since you are here, it would just take one more click and one more second to hit that subscribe button now. And of course, to those of you that are returning, you know that I truly appreciate you engaging in the conversation, leaving your comments, and always being so incredibly supportive. And I would love it if you would make sure that you are subscribed as well. So as I said, the Democratic National Convention has started in Chicago over the last few days, and it's producing the type of energy we'd expect from a group who are known for their screaming, their yelling, and profanity as their favorite form of communication.
And my message to MAGA, go force yourself, all right?
That was nice. Now, ironically, in order to prepare for this love fest of peace, joy, and utopia, numerous walls, barricades, and fences were put up because apparently these measures are effective in controlling a crowd who want to hear Mark Hamill yell profanities at them and attempt to stay relevant, or hear Kamala Harris talk about being unburdened by what has been for the 1,000th time. But these same things are racist when we want to use them to secure the border and keep criminals and terrorists from entering the country to endanger our homes and cities. They also required an ID to get into the venue, but this is yet another security measure that cannot be used to vote. And at this point, the Party of Love and Tolerance has become known for their mayhem, especially when it comes to putting on large events. And people know that with pretty much every Democrat gathering, there's going to be blue hair, there's going to be screeching, there's going to be total clownery, and of course, destruction. And you can tell that their messages of inclusivity and tolerance are really healing the country and accomplishing that unity they all assured us they wanted as they cast their vote for a bumbling dementia patient in 2020. As now, whenever local residents in any cities hear that a Democrat event is coming to their area, they board up their businesses, they lock their doors, and they stock up on fire extinguishers.
We are on Washington and Wabash outside of the Garland building, which houses a number of businesses, including stores and some restaurants and offices. Now, as you can see behind me, you'll notice that the front of the Garland building is covered in plywood. It's basically covering the windows and the door, and that's to be able to protect the building, and I should say the entrance of the building, from any potential unrest that could happen ahead of the, once the DNC does come around here, since we are anticipating some protests.
I'm sure if you ask any Democrat about what's going on here, they would say that the plywood identifies as party decorations. What's fascinating about everything and we know about the DNC thus far is that most of what has hit the news and social media about this event has come from the pre-game show. The chaos and insanity unfolded before the first speaker even hit the stage, and I have no doubt that what we've witnessed already, as I said, is going to set the tone for the rest of the event. So just to get an idea of who all has descended on the city of Chicago over the last few days, we really need to separate out these groups by their identity label. So we've got the Pride/LGBTQIA apostrophe minus sign group, who want the right to provide sexually graphic material to our kids in school, to parade naked in front of children in the name of inclusivity, and force us to use language that directly contradicts the truth just because it makes them feel better. We've got our pro-Hamas college students who are completely oblivious to everything that happened in Israel on October 7th, despite supposedly being educated after spending thousands of dollars at top universities, demanding that Israel stop defending themselves and allow Hamas terrorists to do more of the same on a larger scale to the entire state of Israel, because anti-Semitism is rampant in our public education system. So these young adults take every opportunity they can to demand a ceasefire from Israel so they can essentially be slaughtered and then gift the state to terrorists because they just apparently deserve it. Don't even get me started on LGBTQ for Palestine, because strangely, these groups have intertwined to create the queer/LGBTQ groups for Palestine. Again, from people telling us how educated they are, despite the fact that there are numerous statements from Palestine and Hamas saying that they want nothing to do with these people and that they would terminate them if given the opportunity. And of course, we absolutely have to acknowledge the rabid feminists who decided to dress up as abortion pills and walk down the street screaming about their right to kill their unborn babies, because they seem to believe that the only thing that defines a woman in this country is her uterus, and that being called a childless cat lady is far more offensive than excitedly comparing how many abortions they've had with the feminists next to them. Sadly, this does bring a whole new meaning to the phrase body count, of which all of these women are extremely proud of. Honorable mention does need to be made to climate change activists, anti-police activists, trans activists, who are all collectively adding to the atmosphere with threats of violence, harm, and destruction on all levels. Love and the tolerance is palpable at this point. So it makes sense that all of these causes coming together, all built on a solid foundation of anger and rage, would create one big satanic circus, and we'd see the mental illness of liberalism on full display at the highest level. Even they must recognize on some level that it would be irresponsible to pass on this immense level of mental illness to another generation, as a mobile clinic was offered to provide free abortions and vasectomies. However, I think the fact that we can recognize this as child sacrifice says everything that we need to know. But let's just remember, a few weeks ago, these people got their nose rings in a twist when they heard J.D. Vance accurately point out that the Democrats are the anti-family party, and they rely on a voting base that has no stake in the future of the country and heavily encourage people to think only about themselves. So I ask the question, where was he wrong? What's wild and abundantly clear at the same time is that the people that these activists and political pawns seem to hate more than MAGA are themselves, each other, and Kamala Harris. Like, these people don't like anyone. This is a video from a guy named Bo who dove into the center of this total mayhem and confirmed the animosity that these people have about literally everything.
This isn't Republicans. This isn't MAGA. This isn't Republicans trying to break into the DNC. This is Democrats fighting amongst each other. They're all protesting the Kamala Harris DNC, getting her inaugurated, or getting her elected, I guess, officially, and they hate it. I asked all these people, are they voting for Kamala Harris? They've said no. This is an internal war. It's going to help out Republicans tremendously. Democrats, you're in shambles right now. What's going on here?
So my question is this. These people have been brainwashed with the idea that America is evil and racist and that it needs to be destroyed in order to rebuild some kind of utopia in its place. But how can you expect anything close to peaceful or unifying, and especially any kind of utopia, when everything that you stand for is rooted in hostility, anger, and death? You cannot get blood from a stone. You can't get something from a place where it never existed. Nothing positive, fulfilling, or productive will come from this because it's not even possible. And as the DNC continues and we hear from their speakers and they try to be inspirational and positive to their audience and to their voters, the thing that we need to look at is what is happening directly outside the front doors, because that is not MAGA. Those are not Republicans. Those are not Christians standing out there screaming at them. That is their own party, fueled by the anger, fueled by the messages that they hear from their own leaders. So it doesn't matter how much you get up on stage and talk about joy and talk about positivity and talk about reimagining anything, when you can see exactly what your messaging and what your ideology produces right in front of you. I don't know how anybody can maintain a straight face or any level of seriousness and look at what's unfolding here and still maintain that the right, that conservatives, that MAGA, that Trump supporters are the party of hate, that we spread intolerance and bigotry and fear, when all that follows the Democrat Party around are chaos, is anger, is outrage, is frustration and animosity towards everyone around them and toward each other. Were businesses boarding up ahead of the RNC? Were thousands of additional police units mobilized in anticipation of unrest and violence? No, the RNC was actually a profitable time for local businesses, as the thousands of extra visitors to the area brought in new customers and supporters. People actually benefited from that experience. To look at what your belief system produces. Democrats, if you're so joyful, where is the joy? And if Kamala and the groups that she and others who share the same messages bring this much chaos without her as president, what is going to happen if, heaven forbid, she actually does get into the White House? Their words and their promises of joy and unity do not align with their results. I know y'all think that the public education system has enlightened your brains, but if you look at the truth of the matter, the math ain't mathin'. I would love to hear all of your thoughts on this in the comments below. Let me know if you want to hear more commentary as the DNC unfolds this week. Please be sure that you are subscribed. Keep it real, guys, and I will see you in the next one.